Hey everybody, this is Sully with 5 freaking onion rings, and I'm using my big camera. And the reason I'm using my big camera is because I have this problem, and I think a lot of people have this problem. I bought a GH5 back in 2020. I got a great sale on. And yeah, Panasonic Lumix GH5. And I come from Canon, and I love Canon. I love Canon. But let me tell you, Canon puts the freaking cripple hammer on every one of their cameras except for the ultra high end that costs like 10 grand. Panasonic and Sony and other manufacturers apparently don't. And by cripple hammer, I mean like, ooh, you get 4K, super cropped. Or you get 60 FPS, only in 720. Or you get stuff, stuff. Hey, let's have a display. It only pops up. You can't see anything. What? Or you have a flip out lens, flip out monitor, but it pops down. What? Or you have something. I remember back in the day, I bought a Rebel 2000. That was my very first camera, my first digital SLR after coming from film. I used to actually work in a darkroom. And I bought this SLR camera. Or I'm sorry, I bought this digital SLR, DSLR, paid $1,000 for it. Loved that camera. I did. It did everything I wanted. It had a 1-inch screen that you could tell you took a picture on it, but it wasn't great. It was tiny. Yeah, pictures. It was DSLR. But I loved it. And at the time, Canon hadn't really gotten their firmware quite right, so they released the Canon D10 or 10D at the same time or a little bit after, and the 10D had extra features in it. Well, Canon didn't know what they were doing, so hackers, I say hackers, just programmers, learned how to make the firmware options on the Canon 10D available on the Rebel 2000. So you had $1,000 camera that could do what a $1,600 camera could do. And ever since knowing that, it's like, oh yeah, I guess a lot of this is now software and not hardware since they use similar systems and sensors and blah, blah, blah. Canon learned that. So they would put all of their cool features on their low-end cameras as the beginning, like, hey, here's, the first time you get like, shoot, 60 FPS or something like that, came out on low-end cameras. But then they implemented it fully on the high-end cameras. And so knowing this, I'm like, Canon, you're just weird. You're weird. You give the features as kind of like a preview so that people step up and buy the whiz bang, good version or whatever. But it sucks. Like 4K on a 50, what's it called? The M50 had 4K, but it was so cropped in you couldn't use it. You learn later on that one of the best cameras Canon ever made was the M1 because Magic Lantern. And now you have crop mode. But you buy a Lumix camera and you get all these features. And they're all right there, and they all work exactly as stated. And then Lumix or Panasonic comes out and says, "Hey, we're going to give you open gate, so you can have the full sensor available." I'm not used to someone not treating me like crap. So I say all this to say I bought this camera in 2020, and then suddenly my life and my work just took a whew, and I have all these new features that I never got to play with because life took a whole different meaning. And I don't mean to be so close up to you, but I only have this tiny lens right now. It only gets this much in focus, and I was wanting to do it. But I bought this camera, and I didn't get to fully use it. And I love the camera, and I love this channel. And I'm going to try to get back into it. And I keep saying I'm going to try to get this channel back on it. And that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm Sully. That's what we do. And I got a follower. And it's going to be awesome. So anyway, if you listen this far, you must have nothing to do with your life, but I appreciate you. I really do. Y'all rock. Y'all are awesome. But for me, I'm stepping away from Canon and going to Lumix. And the other thing on it, I got this freaking, hold on, let me show you here. I got this LG V60, which is a 2020 camera, which has this program called MC Pro 24, also motion cam, and it puts out amazing video that you always have. It puts out video that to me is better than what you see on the Apple 15 because I can do Apple log, I can do log recording, I can do raw recording with motion cam. I was going to do some videos on this. I did a few a while back, or I don't know if I ever published them. That's the thing. So I've got to get focused and we're coming back, and there's some new stuff, and it's gonna be fun. But it's probably not gonna focus on Canon, except for maybe crop mood and some of the raw features, which Canon didn't want you to do anyway. Canon, I love you, but I don't. And you know, you can only be stupid for someone for so long. That's my love letter to Canon. I love Canon colors. I love Canon autofocus. Everything else about Canon cameras, y'all need help, man. Y'all need help. You changed mounts on me like 10 times. Come on. I have EF, EFS, EFM, and EFR. Come on. Come on. Come on. As always, like and subscribe. Love you.